Wow. Good morning, everybody. Wednesday, March 18th, 8:55 a.m. Yours truly's getting caught up on some sleep. Sleeping in. I hope you're sleeping well. And I woke up this morning half an hour ago to some breaking news yet again on this case regarding Sheriff Nanos. And for those of you that were following JLR when he was there, I had him in the background while I was working and writing and doing dishes or whatever. And for a large part of the day, or resting or whatever I was doing. And Bob Kruger came into his chat. I think he's a retired sheriff or not sheriff, rather, either lieutenant or detective. I want to say lieutenant. I'm sorry if I'm over arching his his pedigree. But anyways, he has been in there's been Kirk, who talks very, very profoundly and honestly as a retired detective, homicide detective of the Pima County office, and how he has PTSD and whatnot. And he's got the goatee. And there's, I think it's Ross, I think it is, who is, or Aaron Ross, rather, is the head of the president's union, I guess, if you will, for police. And then there's Bob Kruger. They're the three men who have just recently retired. Aaron is still there on desk duty because he dared to speak out about the Nanos situation. And I think it was Thursday or Friday last week, Bob Kruger says to JLR, he shows up on his live and JLR doesn't even know who he is because he's busy streaming from in front of Nancy's for the last 4 weeks. And he says something's coming down the pipeline. Well, here it is. Here it is. Here it is. Exclusive from New York Post. Let's read it. Sheriff leading Nancy Guthrie investigation faces massive recall effort from furious locals. He has been an embarrassment. Yeah, and not only has he been an embarrassment, I spoke about this yesterday. Could Savannah sue him? And, regrettably, not very easily. I mean, it's an incredibly difficult thing to prove, negligence and irresponsibility, and it's just this case. There's some from confounding um, things that were done that there's not a law enforcement active or retired that agree with, returning the scene, not taking the map, not taking the flowers at the front, letting people day 2 for that matter, run all over the crime scene. There's not anybody who would defend that kind of investigation. It just, it seems to defy logic. It seems to defy logic. Also, it's come out that he had, misstated his resume and he had been relieved and not quit from duties, and there's all those things. But let's listen to this clip. And you know, the chances of this being, I don't know, let's research the chances that it's successful. I was just watching it breaking on Jennifer Coffindoffer, having my 2 sips of my coffee, and thought, I got to get out of here today. I got things to do. So let's just run this for you all. And then I'm going to attempt to show you what I tried to create in the video the other day, where AG shows a map to some neighbors on the first or second day after Nancy went missing of a very interesting route, asking residents before or after the crime if they had anything on their cameras along this route. And I'm just so curious how this was given to neighbors in a chat group, according to JLR's reporting by Annie, on the second day or so that Nancy was gone missing. And I had shown that in the other video with the radar that I wanted to, the scanner rather, police scanner of something apparently happening at Annie's the night before that I could not locate. So I took that all down and the whole thing got wiped out. So I'm going to show you that as well after we read this. But holy smokes. Holy smokes. Okay, let's start with reading this. And I hope y'all are well today. So this was published yesterday at 3:42 p.m. Chris Nanos, the sheriff in charge of the Nancy Guthrie case. I'm going to read it and then I'm going to show you the clip of the local, if I can get that to come up again. Okay, Sheriff Nanos, the sheriff in charge of the Nancy Guthrie investigation, is facing a massive recall drive from furious locals about the Democratic after the Democratic embarrassed the county, the Post can reveal. Daniel Buterez, a Republican congressional candidate, confirmed that he has already initiated the lengthy recall process. He said he has 500 volunteers working to collect signatures to oust Nanos from office. I'm sorry, Nanos, but I'm hoping they're successful. This is a bipartisan effort. It's not like we're trying to get signatures from one party or the other, Buterez told the Post from his home in Pima County. He has been in an embarrassment to Tucson and to Pima with this Nancy Guthrie case. He said, adding that last week's allegations that the sheriff lied under oath about his employment history were the final straw. Everyone's pretty disgusted, Democrats and Republicans, Buterez added. Buterez, who is standing against Democratic Republic Adelita Grijalva in November, said he made the decision to begin the recall proceedings on Wednesday after speaking to frustrated rank and file Pima County officers. Whoa. I had a feeling the officers are embarrassed because of the use of the words embarrassed. That might be an emotional reaction, but I think the negligence on behalf of the Nancy herself and the Guthrie family themselves, and the fact that there is so much frickin' crime there, like, I think that's critical. And I also was going to run a video. It's on my list of videos to do today until this came up. What are the actual stats there on crime? Have they risen since Nanos has been in control of, has been the sheriff? Because man, oh man, for everybody to be in that Catalina foothills, and I know it's its own distinct neighborhood, but to be so oblivious to the crime that's going on around them. We've seen numerous camera shots of people in backpacks in the neighborhood, creepy crawling through their yards and in their doors. And my gosh. So I also wonder if it was negligent of him with his first comment, which I started to create and I clipped, no worries. This was targeted. The community is safe. Specifically in the second press conference after he did his blitz day, and he decided he bungled that because he told different reporters on their one-on-ones different things, and they started to piece it together and say, well, that didn't make sense. That didn't make sense. He decided that was not appropriate for him because he was getting caught mixed up in his words and he didn't look good. And I think he has enough of an IQ to literally recognize that. Just my opinion. I mean, still to be debated, but sorry. I couldn't help that because he truly looks like an imbecile, and he makes them all look like an imbecile. And you have to wonder at one point, was it a strategic look because it was so off the wall? But apparently not, because people inside are complaining and feel like they're embarrassed. But embarrassed is an emotion that's not a professional one. That wouldn't be the word I would use to go and lodge this. I think negligent and risking an 84-year-old woman's life because he's put people on desk jobs with the most seniority here because of his arrogance, because they dared to have a different voice and an opinion of him, is extremely problematic, in my opinion. I don't know what the law says, but that's, pretty grossly negligent, in my opinion. So I think the risk that he's put to Nancy and the lack of transparency, because the first statement is you're not at risk. And then just a few days ago, Brian Enton reports, and one of the neighbors is like, I'm now terrified after his latest, messaging, nobody's safe here. Well, it's been 6 effing weeks. Where was your obligation to the public? Sorry, to warn the public about their lack of safety. If you've known that all along, did you not have a duty of care to the people you're representing in the public, saying, hey, there's a prowler on the loose. Everybody, this is not the safe neighborhood you think it is. Get some cameras stat, because until we catch this guy, we have no clue whether he's going to be a repeat offender or not. That, if that was his belief all along, was his duty of care, in my opinion, to the public, to the community, to Pima County. Period. I'll stop. Just saying. I don't know legally what he could say or shouldn't say with respect to Nancy Guthrie, but he owed a duty of care to the public. Just saying. That's just my opinion. Okay, so now they're saying they made the decision beginning to recall proceedings on Wednesday after speaking to frustrated rank and file Pima County officers. He said that Pima County deputies have been told that they wanted to launch the recall campaign themselves, but they were afraid of the repercussions from Sheriff Nanos. Police in Pima County had a unanimous vote of no confidence in Sheriff Nanos on Friday, Buteris added. And I think we've heard in interviews, well, it's not that I think we did hear in interviews, I believe, from those 3 same gentlemen that are prior enforcement officers with amazing accolades. And well, Aaron is still there, but he's been desk jobbed because he dared to be as the president of the union. There's another term, but I'm just, shortening it for you because I don't know the exact titles, but basically he's the voice and reason for the officers, but the liaison, if you will, but he can't communicate with Nano. So, he's only hearing the one side of it because he, he was saying before Nanos got a hold, before Nancy Guthrie went missing, before this case, they had a non-confidence vote, in the 90s or something ridiculous. So this was before this case. So it's only highlighted his incapacity to speak publicly, to have any knowledge of a case, to run an investigation, to run the office there with confidence, to, he's just completely lost the confidence of everybody on his task force, on his team, the 500 or 400 and some agents. And now, hopefully, the public is going to band together in agreement with this gentleman, Daniel Buteris. You're looking at him here. A Republican congressional candidate confirmed that he has already initiated the lengthy recall process. I decided I'd do it because I'm a congressional candidate. I'm already in the spotlight and I don't see Nanos messing with me, he explained. Following the posts, that's just a clip. Since getting his serial number for the recall on Thursday, he now has 120 days to acquire the necessary signatures of 25% of the total votes cast in the sheriff's election of 2024, equal to roughly 120,000 signatures. So he literally needs to get 100 signatures a day. He has 120 days to get 120,000 signatures, right? Okay. So that's 1,000 signatures a day. My math, 1,000 signatures a day. They've got 500 people on the ground. That means each person needs to get 2 signatures. If I were them, having been in real estate and door knocking and canvassing, just saying, sorry to the volunteers, you're not going to like this, but I'd say your day is not done until you've each collected your 2 for the day. That's what I'd say, because you have a goal here. You're in a minimum. You each need to collect 2 a day to hit that goal. And of course, you don't want to just hit the goal. You want to surpass the goal. I was a business coach. Sorry for my rambling. But I really want to see them successful here. Buteris told the press he doesn't think this will be a problem. I'm probably going to go for 135 signatures. Yes, thank you. He said, right now we have almost 500 volunteers who want to get signatures, and 5 notaries to notarize the pages for everybody. If he obtains the required signatures, the Pima County recorder then has 60 days to verify them against the voter registration records. If successful, Sheriff Nanos will then be notified, at which point he has 5 days to decide whether to resign, or call a special recall election. Buettner is running the recall campaign alongside his congressional campaign as he prepares to face Grijalvas this November in a rematch of last September's special election. So the Democratic won the race comfortably, securing almost 69 of the votes cast, and Buettner admits he faces an uphill task in a historically safe Democratic district. Despite that, he believes that the size of his platform on social media, where he launched his campaign to recall Nanos, will help him pull an upset come November. I really would hope that the people that are looking at whether they're going to sign this or not, just don't worry about the outcome. Just worry about the mission. If the mission is get this bumbling fool who has failed to protect us as a community, who has bumbled this Nancy Guthrie investigation so badly that everybody in the world is looking at him like he's a doofus. If that's the goal, I would highly suggest that just be the focus of the canvassers. It's not about parties here. It's about, you have a duty of care for the next election to do what you didn't do this time, which we didn't do this time, which is to grill the person before we elect them appropriately to ensure they're not going to be a repeat of this, right? And I would really encourage the people signing the signatures to stay out of the politics. It's about a confounding case and a confounding reaction to a case that looks negligent to most outsiders, irresponsible, egoic, confusing. And I think it's compromised the safety of the people in the community. And in my opinion, has completely compromised this case, as we reported yesterday. According to Megyn Kelly's reporting, they have no suspects. We're on day, what is it today? 46 today. We have no suspects. Brian Koberger was arrested tomorrow in relation to this case. Tappy, also same thing. We're all like, wow, nothing here. And then boom. Well, that didn't take this long either. So it's starting to look pretty grim. And is it surprising they don't have DNA evidence with all the trampling all over the scene? No, and not in my opinion. How did they miss the cameras on the how did he miss the cameras? I don't even think this doofus went to the house personally. Anyways, enough about, I shouldn't be so harsh on him, but I've been pretty light on him compared to other people. So she goes, you have a huge platform. When you post stuff that the city's doing wrong, my phone blows off the hook, he recalled. She said, Mr. Buteris, I'm willing to work with you, and I want you to know that I think you can beat Adelina, he said. She goes, all my constituents, Democrats, Independents, Republicans, they all love you because you're so active in the community. Representatives for Sheriff Nanos did not respond immediately to requests for comment. Okay. I don't know how easily this can be done. And I think for today, I want to just jump ahead. Instead of going through the stats, I changed my mind because it's taken me longer because I allowed myself to ramble and give you my opinion. I think we'll monitor it and see how it's going. I'm sure we're going to get some updates and see. But I think while in the history of this happening, it's pretty hard to do. This might be the exception. And so I'm hoping and praying, because I think that community truly is not safe. with him at the helm. I just have my doubts. So now we're going to move into what JLR had reported on, and Jennifer Coffindoffer herself had picked up on it. And she had shown, let me just get you that clip. Okay, so in yesterday's video, I explained to you the day before, I had this video up of Tucson's putting a, I couldn't find it. I couldn't find this clip that he posted at not from March 15th, apparently, that something was going down in the back of Annie's home and Tommaso's home. And I couldn't find it to substantiate it on the Broadcastify or any of the scanners. And I was confused on what night it took place and what was going on. So I just removed it. But eventually I get to this point in this video that I promised you in this video I would show you. And I'm sorry for those of you that were in the middle of watching it and commenting like, what happened to the video? I was trying to edit out the scanner part because I couldn't substantiate it, and something happened. And the entire video, except for 10 minutes, went poof. So my apologies. So here it is. So let's watch it. It's crazy. It's really interesting. Okay, so JLR had reported in a separate video a map that one of the neighbors showed him that showed up by Annie in the group, in a group chat, a local group chat, within a day or so of Nancy's disappearance. And Jennifer played it. Let's watch.
I want to go to something that JLR pointed out. And I know there's a lot of JLR haters. I understand his background. I understand the prison stints. I understand the fraud involved. I understand what he did in Sandy Hook. I understand it all. And for that reason, you can caveat what he has to say. You can be angry that he's making a lot of money. Look, people who make money doing streams and doing it's an honest living for those people. That's what they do full time. I hope everybody is successful at whatever they undertake. I don't care what you do. I'm in your I'm in your court, and I want you to be successful, everyone. And that includes people who stream.
Okay, I'm going to fast forward because, yes, JLR is admitted to having a criminal past. And he's not the first YouTube crime person with a past. But he's paid his dues. And I'm really glad to see Jennifer Coffindoffer giving him the credit that he is owed here. So let's listen in. I'm going to fast forward. We don't need to hear much more other than the fact that she believes the intel that JLR got. Let's listen.
Because they provide an important service. Boots on the ground, and I pay attention to some of it. I look at all of them. I really like John DePietro out there. He's a guy I really could trust. Obviously, News Nation, Inton, all the
reporting of somebody asking the group chat, Annie specifically, of if they have cameras of this specific route. How did we get that specific route? It's really curious. So let's go now and watch JLR do this route. I'm not going to play the whole thing, but you can watch it yourself, and you tell me if it's intuitively how you would have figured they might leave, or if it's kind of like you might need to know, because there's also, as reported with Jennifer, very few cameras on this particular route. Let's watch.
With you regarding the Nancy Guthrie case. 84-year-old Nancy Guthrie, believed to be kidnapped out of this home right here, February 1st, 2026. Been out here over a month covering this case. Today is day 42. Now, one of the neighbors that lives in this neighborhood gave me a map, and I want to share this map with you. What the neighbor is claiming is, right after the kidnapping happened, Annie Guthrie shared a map in a neighborhood group chat with all the neighbors in the area, asking them to check their Ring camera, their surveillance footage, to see if they seen anything suspicious before or after the kidnapping. And she wanted people to review it. Now, this map is from this location and it takes you west. I'm going to ride the route also, but let me show you the map first and then we will further discuss. Check it out. Now, that map takes you through the neighborhoods, but it goes west. We're going to drive that route. I'm going to drive the exact route that that map shows. Now, this is interesting. What does Annie Guthrie know, and why is she asking people, allegedly, about, checking footage? But it makes kind of sense, considering that we've been here for over a month, and we've seen the FBI at a lot of those locations in between, navigating the neighborhoods, checking around the grounds for things, going door to door, asking people for surveillance. What's going on here, folks? So I'm going to spin the camera around right here. This is her home. This is the memorial. And we're going to take that route just to see it. Because it could be part of this case. We're going to go down Camino Escalante. This is in the Catalina foothills north of Tucson. We're on a mission here. We're on a mission to find out the truth and just show you the terrain in general. Now, it goes towards Annie and Tommaso's home, just south of it on Roller Coaster Road. But we're going to see here. We're going to see here the neighborhood. We're going to take a look here, navigate through.
And the route goes just south of Annie and Tommaso's home. Let's watch.
You could call it desert cactus type terrain here. Now, this is the end of Nancy Guthrie Street. I can tell you that the FBI 100% were at this house right here. And believe it or not, this home here has surveillance footage or surveillance cameras. I don't know if the footage works, hanging up on top of their house there. There's a camera right there. And we know the FBI was there. But this map takes us this way on Camino Marival. And we do know that the FBI was at this home here that's under construction. So we're going to go the map route, navigate through the neighborhoods. Some will call this the Shadow Hills. Speed bumps. What the heck's going on here, folks? Who is the perp? Who did this crime? What vehicle was used to do this crime? Still don't got surveillance of any vehicle, though some vehicles are out there. For instance, a little bit west of Campbell, there was a Kia Soul, 2:36 a.m. So this is Cali La Cima. You would turn here. We're following the map. This will take you out of the neighborhood. There's lots of other ways to get out of the neighborhood. Why she chose to ask about this neighborhood is interesting. So Camino Cresta, we're going to turn on Camino Cresta. Now this is going to take us eventually to a main route going out, and we're going to go towards First Avenue. Now, one thing I noticed about all these homes around here, if anyone does have Ring footage, it's probably going to be hard to see anything this late at night. Now, we're going to be taking a left or right. We're going to be taking a right. So we're going towards First Avenue right now. Now, the FBI, during the course of our lives, we're all in here in this medium area here. It's like one way the other way, and in between it's kind of like an island. This is Via Entrada. We are going towards First Avenue, Via Entrada. And I remember being out here live streaming. It's hard to live stream here consistently because it kept breaking up because of lack of cell phone coverage around here. And I got Verizon. Now, there is homes that are pretty close to the road. FBI was also going door to door in this area too, asking people for their surveillance footage in this neighborhood here. Shadow Hills, they call it. We are going westbound. Is there any footage that authorities have that can show the perp or the perp's vehicle? Because we have not seen any. Not at all. Almost out of this neighborhood here, and we're going to be going onto a main road here shortly called First Avenue. We're going to be going north on First here just shortly. This is day 42. Too long, folks. Via Entrada. Again, homes that are pretty close. There's also quite a few homes around here I noticed that are under construction. And now we make it to First Avenue. Now you could go left and it'll take you down a river road, but the map is showing go right. We're going to go right up a distance, and then we're going to turn on a road called Rudisell. Now, this is a heavily trafficked road, but keep in mind, during the early morning hours, not much people out here. I've been out here. Look how heavily traveled it is during the day, but at night is a whole other story. Let me try to get over here. It's empty out here. It's also pitch black in this neighborhood. All right, we're making a right. Next stop, we're going to be making a left on Rudisill. Now, also in this area, there's a lot of tunnels that go under the road. Rudisill will be up here shortly. FBI all around here. Rudisill right here. We're going to be making a left, following the map. There is the Catalina Mountains. Now, Rudisill here will eventually take you to Oracle, but we're going to be
eventually take you to Oracle, which is the road I gave the FBI. Let's listen in.
turning left here and actually going south before Oracle on another road, which we'll discuss here shortly, that eventually takes us just outside the Denny's. And that road will be up here very, very shortly.
I'm going to let you finish watching this on JLR, but I ask again how this got out, why it got out. It's all very curious. Let me know what you think below. Thank you all for being here. Love and light. Go check out all the videos that I showed you if you would like in their entirety of all the creators. And let's pray that we find Nancy and bring her home. Stat.